Well, here we go again. California becomes the 9th Democrat-run state to force everyone to wear masks indoors despite vaccination status. We're going backwards.
Joining us live, Fox Nation host Tomi Lahren. Tomi, it seems the more pushback these liberal governors get, the more they double down. Why is that?
Well, it's because those people living in those liberal blue states refuse to change how they vote. Instead of voting better, they decide to flee to great free states like Florida, like Tennessee, like Texas, instead of staying and fighting. I understand, I fled as well. But I also got to say this, forced face diapering is back. There's a whole lot of things you can get away with in California, but breathing freely is not one of them. But I'd have to ask those leaders in those states who claim they're doing this for health and safety. You know, these states have some of the most stringent, strict COVID measures, including forced vaccination, mask mandates, but their case totals and the way that they've dealt with COVID is either the same or worse than those states like Florida and Tennessee and Texas that chose freedom. So if what you're doing and these mandates, if they're working so well, your state should be performing better than everyone, but it's not. So when are they going to wisen up and realize they are hemorrhaging residents? They're coming to all the free states because people are done living in fear of COVID. They want to move on. They want to be free, and they want to breathe freely, for crying out loud.
Yeah, Tomi, I couldn't agree with you more. And, you know, I was rereading President Biden's 4th of July speech this morning. And just to remind everybody what he said back in July, he was talking about the virus here. He says it no longer controls our lives. It no longer paralyzes our nation. And it's within our power to make sure it never does so again. That was July. And what has happened in between then and now? More people have gotten vaccinated. Now we're dealing with Omicron, which is a less severe strain of the virus. So I'm just having trouble figuring out how a lot of these mayors and Democrats are able to enforce these rules and people are actually going along with it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You know, the goalposts keep moving. They really haven't said how they're going to enforce these mandates, other than the fact that people are just going to comply because people have been complying with tyranny for 2 years now. We've been conditioned and we've set the precedent that you can keep applying these mandates, these restrictions, however arbitrary they may be, and people will follow along. And I also got to say, besides just the mask mandate, California is also set to impose other restrictions on the unvaccinated, which makes no sense because, as we know, the vaccinated can get and give COVID. So again, I'd have to ask these leaders and I'd have to ask those people living in these states, do you really think this is about health and safety, or is it about control and intimidation?
Finally, Governor Ron DeSantis there in Florida defending his plan to fight the Biden administration with a new plan to transport illegal immigrants out of Florida to places like Delaware and other Democrat enclaves. DC. Here's more from the governor's plan. Listen.
If you are facilitating Biden's policies, which is effectively a mass human smuggling operation, you are not going to be eligible to do business with the state of Florida because, yes, there are drugs, there are crimes, but you also have things with health care costs, education, all these services that get taxed because of Biden's reckless policies.
45 seconds on the clock to you, Tomi. Your reaction.
Listen, if the Biden administration is dedicated to coddling illegal immigrants and is also dedicated to having an open southern border and then dropping thousands, tens of thousands of illegal immigrants in states like Florida and states like mine here in Tennessee, any leader worth their title is going to stand up and say enough of this. Governor DeSantis is showing true leadership. He's showing that he cares about the residents of his states, the legal immigrants and the Americans who are law-abiding, and he's going to put them first. And any other leader around the country should follow his example. We can't allow the Biden administration to open the floodgates to illegal immigrants, to encourage and incentivize illegal immigration. And I agree with him. Why don't you send them to Delaware, send them to Martha's Vineyard, send them to California, send them to Nancy Pelosi's backyard? That'd be a much better place for them.
Tomi, you were just about 45 seconds on the
She's
spot.
got a clock in her head. It's wild. Tomi, thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.